There we go. Oh boy, good morning. Hello. Good day. Good evening. Ooh, what a day. My lighting is a little bit weird today because I live in Oklahoma City and we're having, we're having winter that is normal for me as a native Iowan. But this is record-breaking cold for Oklahoma City. Let's see, what is the old temperature right now? -12. Like, that's just not normal. That's cold for Iowa. That's very, very cold for Iowa, and it's even colder there. Let's do a weather check-in first thing in the morning. -12. There's not a wind chill right now, but the wind is going to move in. We're supposed to get more snow, record-breaking snow, record-breaking cold. And then let's check my hometown. Pretty similar, -16. Not a wind chill there either. Whatever benefit that is. But so in Oklahoma City, however, very much unlike any of my experiences with cold in Iowa, the electrical grid, I guess, just isn't built to handle the demand for heat and electricity. And so we have to conserve energy to avoid rolling power outages during record-breaking cold, which started in Texas. They were doing it in Texas yesterday. This is the town, Oklahoma City, by the way. It was, let's see, October, November, December, 4 months ago that I had it good when I only went 3 days without electricity during a massive ice storm. I have a friend in Oklahoma City which I'm pretty sure in 2020 or 2019 became the 25th largest city in the United States, okay? My friend went almost 2 weeks without power. And so everyone here is like, you have got to be kidding me about this. So my lighting is a little bit weird today. I don't know who will hear me say this, but doing my best while conserving energy. All the other lights are off in my house. Everything is unplugged. I unplugged my extra freezer that lives in my garage and moved everything into my regular one, just like trying to conserve energy as much as I can. So what a day, what a time, what a life. All I know is I am safe and warm in my home. And even if they did have to turn off our power for a few hours, I would still be in a very good position compared to a lot of people. And so I'm thankful for that, and I don't want to downplay it. That's now you're all caught up. But I will tell you what, I'm ready to dive into, ready is maybe not quite the right word. I am eager to dive into my projects for today. The purpose of this morning live stream for me, early morning, is twofold. One is to create my own habit of working on my small business, which is called Making Your Impact. And the entire purpose of that is to inspire and equip you to pursue your calling and make your impact in the world. To get working on that on my podcast, and then other writing early in the morning before I start my day job, which is I'm a co-founder and director of communications and development for an Oklahoma City nonprofit called the Dragonfly Home, and we serve survivors of human trafficking. And so trying to get this done, because once I dive into that during the day, it's like there's nothing else going on. Like, that's very, very consuming. But then the other purpose is to just be available for you with whatever you are working on. I tend to get a lot of writers in here. In my opinion, writers, artists of any kind are like inherently making their impact. They are adding so much to the world. But I know that some people have been on here maybe working on side hustle, like a friend of mine named Allie, who also does live streams, writing sprints. She will come on and she will work on like her Etsy shop, for example. It's just about like creating a habit, setting aside time to do those things that we're passionate about. And I want to be here for you for that. Even if you are silent and you are just participating, that's so all good. But if you want to comment and let me know what you're working on or just anything, I would love to hear it. With that, let's hop into our first 10-minute time block. Let's pull it all up. Share screen. I remembered to get my timers pulled up, but I didn't get them. I didn't get my screen ready to go. But here we go. Here we go. There it is. Nope. Oh. There we go. All right. We'll hear our jaunty little startup tune and get ourselves going for just a quick 10-minute time block, and then we'll do 2 25-minute after that. All right, my friends, this clock will start us off. first time block of the week. What are you doing right now? I'm working on a podcast episode. I got a good start on it. On Saturday, actually. Right now I am writing a story. Okay, that sounds so dramatic. This podcast episode is, so my podcast is called Making Your Impact. There's a little link to it down in the description if you're interested. And the podcast is all about, like I said earlier, inspiring and equipping you to pursue your calling to make a difference in the world. And so the podcast involves tips, it involves personal experiences, it involves some interviews, a lot of just lessons that I've learned in my life of activism, nonprofit, being a lawyer, all of that. And just, I want it to be really like quality information that that can really help you. And so this episode is specifically 5 ways to actually help a nonprofit. And right now I am writing about one of our just fantastic volunteers. I'm calling her Esther in the story. I don't technically have permission to talk about her. I'm sure she would give it, but you know, we're all about confidentiality at Dragonfly. When you're serving human trafficking survivors, that just becomes such a part of life, everyday life. Anyway, Esther is in her mid-60s and just had this full life of like family and a career. She's done a lot of different like interesting things, been really involved in her church, and just has done a lot in life. And she learned about human trafficking a few years ago. And just like everybody at Dragonfly, it just really grabbed her heart. And she felt really pulled to do something about it. And so she did her due diligence, a lot of research. She's a very thoughtful person. And so she found Dragonfly and just slowly and patiently just started taking steps toward getting involved. And this tip that I'm talking about is being willing to step outside your comfort zone, because you might discover skills you never knew you had. So Esther, we were preparing for our annual Crown of Beauty Gala, which was virtual in 2020, but this is 2019. And we needed all kinds of donations, like decor and sponsorships and silent auction items. Like, it's quite the to-do. And so our executive director, Whitney, asked Esther, would you be willing to go around to different stores? We equipped her with information, and like, would you be willing to ask for donations? And Esther said, well, I mean, I've never done anything like that before, but shoot, I'll give it a shot. Totally willing to just step outside her comfort zone. And let me tell you something about Esther. She's got this incredible gifting, calling, skill for that. We have 2 people on our team. One is Taylor, whom I can call by name. She's on our staff and does a lot in the public eye for us. And now we have Esther. And Esther goes out her first day. She calls us and she's like, okay, well, I've got a whole bunch of flowers donated from these different shops. And I went to this store and they're giving us this. And Whitney and I are like, okay, this is amazing. And so she discovered, I mean, there's just never too late in life. It's never, I feel like people could think that, right? Like, oh, now I'm this age and I have less time. I'm this age, I have less time. Man, I find people like Esther such an inspiration because she learned like that she does have these skills that are even after a full life, just like she's just discovering them now. She's also helped us with like technology stuff that she wasn't super comfortable with. And now she's working toward that. So that's a really fun paragraph section of my podcast episode to write about. I was getting in the flow, so I think I'm going to dive back in. If you would like to let me know what you are working on in the comments, I would love it. Let's get my new banner up right now. 25-minute time block. Number 1. Oh, and I got to take this off as well. Just a stop sharing my screen altogether. What time is it? Excuse me, what time is it where you are? It is 6:08 a.m. where I am in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You throw the Oklahoma on because you're like, well, you say Oklahoma City, people will know you're in Oklahoma, but like, not necessarily. I don't know that there's an Oklahoma City anywhere else. You just for good measure, you throw that on as well. Why are you not? The reason it's not full screen is because I didn't have it on full screen. And here I am blaming the timer. All right. This will kick us off with its little jaunty beeps. There it is. I ended it right on the end of the little tune. Oh, that went by so fast. I feel like anybody who enjoys typing ASMR, as I do, would have enjoyed it because I was just typing away that whole time. Got through that section that I was talking about. Yaza has joined us. Yaza from Western Australia. And Yaza very kindly said that she had checked out my podcast and enjoyed it, which means a lot to me. Thank you, Yaza. There's a link to the podcast in the description. I'm on hiatus right now after a difficult, overwhelming fall when I couldn't keep all the balls in the air, all the plates spinning. So now I'm in preparation for the next round of podcasts, like I guess the season, you would call it. It's kind of a continuation of season 5. I just define the seasons however I want. So I guess it could be a mini season. Anyway, episodes are going to start back up on March 17th. And I can't believe, I was going to say, that seems like it's right around the corner. It's still a month away, but it basically feels like it's tomorrow. So thank you, Yaza. And Yaza, I can't remember. I know we talked about Perth the last time, I think last week at some point, but I can't remember if you said you were actually in Perth. Or if Perth is just where you're from, because Western Australia is a massive, ginormous area of land. It's just huge. Let's see. So update here in Oklahoma City. My electricity is still on. Very thankful. I learned a lot about electricity yesterday because they're asking us. It's -12 Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? I just don't know. I can't. When I lived in France, I could do some quick approximation of Fahrenheit to Celsius, but that's been a while ago. So let me just find out. All right. -12. Oh, really? Is that right? -24 Celsius. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. That makes sense. -24 Celsius here right now. -22. We gained a degree. And this is record-breaking cold. I'm from Iowa originally, which is in the north of the U.S. This is cold for Iowa. It's cold there, maybe a little bit colder, but Iowans are pretty ready for this. But even my friends up there are like, this is a little much. The benefit of being in Oklahoma City is that by this weekend is going to be in the 40s and then in the 50s early next week. And so that is, I think, maybe around 15 degrees. Nope, not negative. 10 degrees. It's going to be 5 to 10 degrees Celsius by the weekend. Not so up in the north. It's going to stay cold for a long time. But anyway, in Oklahoma City, our electrical grid, Oklahoma City, Texas, the South, they're all super cold. And they're literally hey guys, we might run out of electricity and natural gas and have to turn off your power for a few hours to conserve it. And we're like, awesome. Because what happened here is specifically in Oklahoma City just 4 months ago in October is we had a huge ice storm. And I had it good because I only lost power for 3 days. And I knew people who had lost it for almost 2 weeks. And this is a major city. This isn't, some podunk little town. I don't even that's really derogatory toward little towns. This is not a small town that has fewer resources. This is a major city. And we had that issue. So everybody has not yet recovered from the trauma of that. So last night, they had said that they had called that off, that they were not going to do rolling power outages during a record cold time of year, but they were advising people to cut down on electricity. Now, I learned that this time of day for me is a low electricity. The Can I talk about something I don't know very well this early in the morning? The peak time for energy usage is late afternoon into early evening. However, early morning and overnight hours, the demand for electricity is very low. So I've got less lights than usual, and I don't have anything else on in my house. I unplugged everything except my refrigerator, basically. And I will say that the good thing about having had power outages in October is I've still got all of my emergency systems in place. I have a gas stove, but they don't really want us to use natural gas that much right now either. Oh boy. So yeah. So I hope that other people are taking it seriously. It seemed darker in the neighborhood last night than usual. Like maybe people didn't have so many lights on. But I'm just really glad that I have power right now. Okay. Oh, Yazza says, yes, you are in Perth. Don't have to run into that very often in Perth, right? Because that's in the southwestern part of Australia. And on the coast. And so I wouldn't think that you would have super cold temperatures there, but I don't know. That would be interesting to find out. Yazza, it is really cold. Yeah. But I don't know. I got a good night's sleep and I'm ready to go for today. Yazza, what are you working on right now? I'd love to know. Are you working on your story, I'm guessing, or something else? Are you just hanging out? What's happening? What's happening in Perth on a Tuesday night? I'm going to start up our next and unfortunately final time block for the night. This is why last Friday, I'm just establishing these sprints. Friday was great because I work Monday through Thursday, and then often in nonprofit world on the weekends and at night and all kinds of crazy hours, even during the pandemic, when I'm working mostly at home, almost not entirely, mostly at home. And so Friday morning, I did a live stream for 4.5 hours and I loved it. I could just keep going. As long as I had energy to keep going, I was going to keep going. And I got so much done that day. I was great. Somebody was on the stream and said, I have to go host my own live stream now. And I was like, great, okay, see you. And an hour later, she came back and she said, oh, you're still here. And I was like, I am still here. That was me typing that in the comments. So Fridays are going to be good. Fridays, I'll just keep going as long as I'm able to. But alas, for today, I got to shut it down around 7 a.m. So we'll let our 25-minute timer start us. I'll see you in a little while. Oh man, that flew by. It flew by. Oof. Well, I'm glad because I was in the flow and I'm almost like I've just got a few sentences left for the main part of this podcast episode. So I'm glad for that. I'm glad that as I have to wrap this up and switch over to regular type work, I'm at a good stopping point. Let's see, we had Allie Alexis Spriggs join us. Yaza called her Al, so I'm assuming that you know each other. Or Yaza, you're like, I'm just going to give you a nickname right now, which is something that I can actually get behind. So hello, Al, if you're still here. And Yaza, thank you for joining in. I just need to comment. I like kind of a rainy cold for the winter. That's how it can get here in Oklahoma somewhat, especially up in Iowa, a rainy, cold fall and spring. And there's like a special coziness to that. A lot of people really don't like it. I kind of do. You like Allie more. Okay. I have another friend named Allie who is here sometimes as well. Welcome. It's nice to meet you. And then Yaza was using the Sprint for a side project rather than writing. Boy, I definitely understand feeling like I don't have the mental energy to create, to produce something from my mind and then make it a reality in the world. I'm like, nope, don't have the energy for that. But then using the Sprint for something that just uses a different part of my brain. Oh yeah, that's good. You still like be productive. And then the way I think of it is if you spend that time working on your side project, then you're just creating time further down the road to work on your writing because you've done that. You've worked on that. Are these sentences making sense? 7 a.m. here. I've been up for 2 hours and I'm like writing away, but then sometimes the forming of the sentences and the saying them out loud and stringing words together coherently doesn't always happen as early as I would like to think it would. Yaza says, I do enjoy. Yes, that is a very good point. A rainy cold when you're at home, being stuck out in a rainy cold, not so fun. Definitely has its downsides. I'm with you on that. Oh, I wish I could stay in chat. I wish that I could do more time blocks, but I need to switch over to work now. What are words? What are words? Really? They're just grunts. Yeah, I said grunts. I think that we can all like take that with us for the rest of the day and really think about it philosophically. What even are words? Yeah, I'm with you. All right. I'm going to shut it down. I will be here tomorrow, assuming I've got electricity. I hope, I pray I have electricity tomorrow at the same time. And that is from 5:45 to about 7 a.m. Central Time in the United States. Yeah, it's already up on my channel. If you would like to hop on, you can see that information. All right. Everybody have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are in the world.